Okay, hi, Danny Crouch here, day 36, which is the 12th of November 2014. I'm videoing the journey of my experience as becoming a life coach, going through my own personal development and learning along the way how I pick up the techniques and strategies and going towards whether this is a scam or a success. Obviously, the whole concept here is to focus on it being a success. But I've sort of looked into this for well over 5 years and never thought it was the right time. At stages thought a lot of it was baloney, hypnosis, even to a degree cult sort of secting and thinking and brainwashing, transforming the mind and taking charge of the weak basically. And it just kept resonating about being the same stuff over and over again. It hasn't taken that long to figure out that it is purely about taking action. So it comes at a cost, whether you join a course, whether you use your own coach. You need to pay a certain amount of money, but I'm working towards the fact that it makes you accountable for what you're doing. It's easy to buy a book and say I'll read it and then I'll do it, but from what they say with figures, a lot of people buy a book and they don't read it, and then they don't even act on it. So it's all about the momentum and getting it done. So that's what's led me to keeping a daily journal, this one here, which I document my affirmation for the day, my goals, short term, medium and long term, and my reflection on the last 24 hours since the last video. And I then took that from writing in this journal to actually videoing it. I want to monitor my tone, my language, my facial features, even my weight. I've tied a lot of things into the success in my life revolves around my perception of what other people think of me, and that then in turn revolves around how I look. And I've sort of been destined to be overweight for most of my life because I'm always conscious of what other people think. If I don't allow myself to be comfortable, thin, however you want to look at it, there's all different strategies that we've been going through. But I will move into the day's routine. So the good part is it's day 27 and being smoke free. So yes, I do take responsibility that a lot of this stuff that I'm reading and learning really pushed me towards taking action of giving up smoking, and I'm really happy about that, and I don't believe I will ever look back. This is a major point of Tony Robbins with the pain and pleasure consensus or census, where I've attached more pain to smoking than I have actually pleasure. I don't see the point in enjoying or getting any pleasure out of smoking anymore. So it's more assigned to pain with finance, with health, and basically, health. Anyway, so the affirmation which I've been working on and sticking to is for now until Christmas. So it's a miniature goal within itself. Today I will do everything in my power to reduce my weight to below 109 kilograms by the 25th of December 2014. I'll complete my exercise, eat healthily, and focus on my back being as strong as it can be. I'm thinner and my back is stronger. So that is something that I'm addressing today. Today will be the first day I speak with Monica, who is what she calls a weight loss coach. I think I've spoken before, I don't understand the concept of weight loss. If you're training your subconscious to act on things by saying that your mind can lose weight, then I would have thought on the reverse side it can remember to get it back. So I look at this as more of a thinning, weight thinning. So I'll be speaking with her today, and my guess is with her coaching strategies I'll get an idea of what the Coaching Institute's about, how she's going to use her coaching skills and how they've developed and what I relate them to, and then obviously I'm going to tie that to thinning and from there. Okay, So the goals I've got for today are miniature goals, a couple of hours reading. Now, I've sort of been thinking about the amount of reading I've been doing recently, and I haven't been a big reader. I haven't enjoyed reading up until now. I'm in the middle of Anthony Robbins' Awaken the Giant, which on my iPad is just under 1,500 pages. I've been going about 3 weeks now, and I'm only less than 300 pages in, so my thoughts really started to wander towards how long is it going to take me to read this book. If I read a little bit every day, is this going to take a month or 6 weeks to finish, or maybe even 2 or 3 months? And this is the sort of stuff, you've got to be repetitious, and you've got to read it over and over again. So if it takes me 3 months to read it, then I've got to read it again when I start again, because I've got to remember what I first read in the first couple of weeks. I'm never really going to get an opportunity to read anything else, so I wanted to look at the speed of my reading, and I'm going to look into studying speed reading, which I touched on last night. It's interesting, it might speed things up, but I've got a little bit of a mind blockage of, if I read faster, then I'm not going to understand or comprehend it as well. So I've got to get over that little hurdle, which I think there's techniques and strategies to do that, which will help me move forward. I wanted to spend some time on the training and assessing side. We've got, that's what I do for a living. I work from home as an online trainer in business and management. Now, I really started to pick up work about 4 or 5 months ago, and was earning really good money, and this sort of ties into what I've been saying about what limiting beliefs have allowed me to earn money. There's 2 companies that I work as a contractor for. One was full-time. I could work 40, 50, 60 hours a week if I wanted to, and they were paying me an hourly rate. The other is a per assessment basis, which has been inconsistent but not really worthwhile of a part-time job. It only brought in a little amount of money per month. Now with the full-time work, or the equivalent of full-time work, that's dropped off. Apparently the company's had issues, but I'm now sort of tying that to, is there something that has allowed me to get involved with this company, that once I started getting to a certain point of where I thought I was falling back on my feet, starting to earn some good money, that it fell apart, and I don't have the capacity of earning that money. I did go to another interview with another training company yesterday, thinking that's where I'm meant to be moving forward. That's where they were offering 2 days in office work and then the rest of the time at home. So there's more consistency there. There's locking in a certain amount per week. But I'm just sort of juggling between whether this is my responsibility to allow my earnings to go down again, because I'm in that rut of, I was starting to save a lot of money, and I was starting to get back on my feet, and I was starting to really see the potential of what I could do. On the other hand, it could be this has got to allow me more time to focus on myself and my personal development, and be prepared for the Coaching Institute initiation in December. I want to get through my exercise, which I'm increasing. I went riding on my exercise bike yesterday morning and yesterday evening, so it was about 10 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, and Nick and I went for a walk around the island, and I did my normal stretches and sit-ups and so on and so forth. Nick and I are actually going to see a relationship counsellor. This will be interesting to see his techniques and see how he works. We had another long, detailed 3-hour conversation / argument / debate yesterday over things that we normally debate over: communication, perspective, all sorts of things. We don't seem to nip it in the bud. We don't seem to cut off these long-winded conversations. To a degree, I see them positive, because we're airing our grievances and we're trying to learn about how each other is trying to converse, but we're wasting a hell of a lot of time, and that's why we're going to see these counsellors, in the hope that they can identify what it is that our communication breakdown is. And we also get the opportunity to see his techniques on coaching, on counselling, and how much that would relate to coaching, relationship coaching. I've spoken about that, so then I've got to go into the reflections. Really interesting thing that I've identified with this book here. What I generally try and do is on one side I'll have the the daily routine, but it leaves a blank page on this side where I just take notes throughout the day. Quite often when I'm reading these personal development books, they have areas where they ask you to fill in an activity or write something down, and we've been told to write down empowering beliefs and disempowering beliefs. So rather than write it in the actual book because it's on an iPad, I've been writing it here and taking notes. Now, something that I've found absolutely fascinating is on the right hand side, which admittedly is the thicker side of the book, pen works fine. So this is about the future, about setting goals, about talking about affirmations and what I'm going to do for the day. On the left hand side where I'm taking notes, the pen seems to work fine when I'm taking notes, but when I'm writing down disempowering beliefs or something along those lines, the pen stops working. When I'm filling in one of the activities that it asks in the book, which is something that I've hated to do, purely because I want to sit down and read, or lie down and read, I don't want to have a pen and paper with me. I think I spoke about this yesterday. But the pen stops working. I don't get that. Is that testing me to have to work a bit harder to get the pen working? Am I doing it in the wrong area? Is it a negative thing to be putting it in an affirmation book? Just weird questions that are popping up in my head. I don't know if they make any sense. Something else that's been playing on my mind before we went away in October, I'm not sure if you're aware, we went away for about 3.5 weeks, so we weren't at home. Nick, my partner, has a fish, and we left it with a friend of ours to feed and look after. We've now been home the best part of 3 days, so we got home Sunday, it's now Wednesday, and we haven't picked up the fish. I'm feeling anxious and compelled to want to ring him and get the fish back. And this is one of the questions I raise. Is it a case of, it's not my fish, I don't want to feed the fish, I don't want everything to do with it, it's Nick's fish? Do I call Wayne and tell him we're going to come and pick up the fish and I go and pick up the fish to make me feel better? Or is this something where I shouldn't be feeling the way I'm feeling, I should just leave it to Nick? If she doesn't care if the fish is still sitting with Wayne, that's her problem, or that's her decision, and she can ring him when she likes and she can pick it up when she likes. So this is one of the questions. I'm not sure which direction to go. I could only assume that you do whatever is going to make you feel happiest. So I suppose if one of my goals is to stop worrying about what other people think, then just let it slide. That's not about if Wayne, what is it really going to bother him? He's just got to walk past the fish and drop a couple of pellets in. Not a major deal, so maybe it's not worth worrying about there. The reading I spoke about, so that's something that I wanted to look at. It's an interesting emotional feeling that I feel compelled to want to improve my reading because there's so much more I want to read and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. So for me to improve myself more, I've got to learn how to read faster. And the training and assessing, I think I touched on before, really interesting emotions tied to that, and I've got to focus on what's going to move me forward. So I've got to focus on the training, the coaching side of stuff. There are things I can do with the training in relation to filling in matrices, which is what allows me to work in certain courses and certain units. It's licensing and legal compliance crap that all trainers have to go through, which wastes our time, but that's for another day. Now, what I did come up with, I had to go through my disempowering and empowering beliefs yesterday, and I identified that two of the main disempowering beliefs I have really revolve around A, alcohol, and B, being concerned about what other people think, and they both sort of tie together. Alcohol was a vent or a way for me to build the confidence to A, not care about what other people think, but B, come out of my shell a bit, be a bit more vocal, dance a lot more, socialise a lot more, converse a lot more, and even come across as having more sense of humour. So this whole underlying belief of me not being good looking and being really conscious of what other people think I look like, or me caring about what they think about me or what they say about me and all that sort of stuff. So what Tony Robinson's book has tried to get you to do is to take those two disempowering beliefs that you had and really turn them around and make them empowering beliefs. So the two I came up with is because I don't care what others think, I can look however I choose. So that is something that I've worked on. I'm not conscious about my clothes and all that sort of stuff, but I am conscious about my weight, which I am focusing on doing for myself, not for anyone else, for myself. I want to feel comfortable about myself. And number 2, and this is questionable because I use the word pity. I pity people that rely on alcohol. I'm intelligent and funny and can dance, socialise, hold a conversation whilst being sober. Now, I don't want to attach myself to relying on alcohol, because then I think I might, if by saying I pity those that rely on alcohol, then I'm pitying myself, and that's not what I mean. So I need to address that in the coaching meetings. Now, a couple of empowering beliefs that Sharon came up with in her book, or in her initiation sort of folder that we've got to work through, which are some are mine and some are hers, but I wrote them down because I liked them. My empowering beliefs are always ask questions, and there are no stupid questions. So that's something that I've always believed since my maths teacher in year 10 or 11, I think it was. He said, if you don't know, ask. You can't get in trouble for asking, and people don't think of you as stupid for asking, and I believe that. So going into Sharon's, if I persist, I'll do it. It's okay to make mistakes, that's how I learn. All people are amazing. I choose to see the magnificent in everyone I coach. If there's a way to turn it around, I'll find it. Success is measured by the fun I'm having, the lessons I learn, and the people I connect with. There is a practical solution for everything. There is always a way. Persistence pays. I am the only one responsible for me and no one else. And then to finish off with, I've got the medium to long-term goals. I set 3-month goals, 6-month goal, a year goal, and 3-year goal, going on 9 or 10 days ago. So I'm doing a countdown. So every day the day gets closer to those goals, and then once the 3-month goal is finished, obviously the 6-month goal becomes a 3-month goal. I then readjust them all. So the 3-month goal is down to 82 days, and that goal, the 2 goals there are to complete 3 coaching books and to have 1 paying speaking gig. So that's by the 1st of February. On the 6-month goal, which is 172 days left, is to have a business cruise and a holiday booked. The yearly one is down to 357 days, and that's to have a successful business up and running, and for me to be earning over $100,000 per year. So that's not the business earning that. Obviously the business is going to need to earn more, but it's me earning, because, as I identified yesterday, I'm really going to embrace paying taxes, because the more tax I'm paying, the more money I'm earning. And then the 3-year goal is down to 1,087 days, which is to have the unit paid off. Okay, and that's by the 1st of November in 2017. The only other thing I wanted to work on, oh, I got that wrong. Down to 81 days for 3 months, 171 days for 6 months, 356 days for a year, and 1,086 days for a year. 3 years. I was reading the wrong page there, so interesting. Day 27, smoke free. No, again, I missed that. It's day 28. So simple little mistakes as I go. And the other thing I really want to get stuck into is working on the coaching books, those 3 coaching books that I want to get started. I need to find a way to contact the sports managers, the elite sports managers. So they're my goals for the day, the affirmation, and this is the journey of a life coach, and we're going to find out if it's a scam or a success. See you tomorrow. Bye.